Champions Cup's underway, and Racing have gotten things underway pretty well for themselves. 45 points to 14 is a wee bit of a hiding. Remember, there's just the one game on this Friday. Scarlets in Bristol. That game's not going to be played, with Scarlets forfeiting that one due to all the stuff going wrong, basically, with the guys getting stuck in South Africa with the URC and the new variant and whatnot. So, yeah, for this game, 45 points to 14. Emphatic victory, really. We'll go through some of the key events, some of the stats, and you guys can let me know your thoughts. But, I mean, honestly, you looked at that Racing backline on paper and asked yourself before this game, how are they doing so poorly in the top 14? Their record is middling, average, whereas Northampton have been pretty sharp in the Premiership. And yet, it seemed like Racing were the sharper team in this one for sure. I mean, Northampton didn't do themselves any favours. Soft start early. Matavesi with a dinky little kick, trying to do a Finn Russell impression. I know Matavesi, as a hooker, can kick it. I've seen him kick it a few times this season in the Prem. But when it doesn't come off, you look a bit silly. And they put his team under all kind of pressure. They didn't concede from that initial kick, but it led to a goal line dropout, which led to Racing running it back at them, which led to a high tackle, which leads to 3 points for Racing early. They made it 6-0 relatively early on with a second penalty from turnover ball. So, yeah, man, 6-0, good way to start the game as the away team, to kind of quieten the crowd down a bit. It got better for them with Loré getting a try on 7 minutes. He ends up with a hat-trick. So Russell sets that one up, little inside ball to Kurtley Beale, back to Russell to Loré. So it's good hands, 13-0. Northampton get their first chance they get on Racing's end, but they concede a breakdown penalty. So, yeah, it's just all a wee bit soft, 13-0. The biggest cheer for the Northampton crowd early was when Racing threw it in not straight. That's kind of how bad it was going for them. They were celebrating mistakes from the opposition because there wasn't a lot to cheer for them up until that point. I mean, they did have a few chances, but yeah, they just 16 points to nil after 20 minutes. Every time they'd been down Racing's end, they had come away with nothing. So yeah, it wasn't looking like a very good day. It got worse. Finn Russell, who was just having fun, he set up Imhoff for his first of 2 tries. That one was just kind of Russell just taking the ball to the line, inside ball. It just looks so easy when they do it and execute it well. 23-0. Northampton's day seemed to be getting bad to worse when Mitchell put it out on the full. So back for a Racing line out in Northampton territory. But eventually we did get to see something go on from Northampton when Skorsand got the first try of their 2 for the day. That one was Dingwall with the old little kick through for him, which proved pretty effective. And Ludlam had a nice little run in the build-up, did well to kind of stay in the field of play going down the wing. So, yeah, 23-7 is not looking so bad, but the Racing 92 backline get going one more time before halftime to make it 28-7. That one was Imhoff getting his second. It was from a maul, and they just spin it wide. It just, as I said, it looks easy when they do it, and they do it pretty well. I mean, Northampton have had more possession in the first half, but the run meters is all Racing, and just their effectiveness of their carries is just looking so much sharper in it. So, and the defence at times from Northampton was pretty disappointing. Sometimes the Racing guys are going to make you look bad. That's just a thing, but yeah. Second half, they keep it going. Loré gets his second pretty much from the start of the second half. That one was Russell again taking the ball to the line and offloading. So, yeah, he just seemed to be very, very comfortable in this one. But again, you got to look at some of the defence at times. 35-7, Bigger going off, probably not helping matters. But they did get a try after Bigger had gone off through Dingwall. He had a nice little dummy and then, able to actually kind of evade a tackle partially of Finn Russell to go over. So, at 14 points to 35, and the Northampton guys seemingly really fired up, you're thinking maybe if they score next, I mean, very unlikely, but maybe there's a glint of hope. But then the game kind of settles down a bit. I mean, I'm thinking that maybe based on how fired up the Northampton guys seem to be. They didn't seem to have their kind of heads hung, and it wasn't like a consolation try for them. They genuinely thought they were in the game. But yeah, settling down when it's 35-14 for Racing is a good thing. And then when they do decide to turn it back on, Loré gets his hat-trick. Fiku with the line break to set it up. So 45-14. Northampton don't score any points after that 47th minute try, so that's a fair chunk of the game to go without any points. They almost got one through Ludlam when he had gone over the line, but the TMO called that one back. There were handbags after that one as well, so it's still very fired up, but Slide Home was in front of Ludlam and just deemed to kind of run a bit of an obstructing line. I mean, Austin Healy didn't like it. He seems to not like a lot of stuff when he watches rugby, but honestly, you just shouldn't be there. It's as simple as that. It's not American football. You can't be out in front of the players. If you don't put yourself there, then you don't get in the way and you don't have tries chalked off. I mean, it may not have had an effect on the play because Ludlam ended up going back the other way, but just don't be there. Kind of simple as that for mine. So, yeah, that was pretty much the game. They didn't concede any more points after that kind of Laurie hat-trick, so they managed to go almost 20-odd minutes without conceding any, but didn't score any for pretty much the last half an hour. So, yeah, not ideal. Not ideal for Northampton. I thought they were going to do better than this, to be honest. Possession, 55-45 territory, 54-46 to Northampton. But it doesn't matter because, like, Racing get more run meters, 561 to 426. And when you're looking at how many meters were they getting per carry, that's where it is for Racing, man. They're getting like almost 6 meters a carry, whereas Northampton are just under or just over 3. So they're double kind of in their effectiveness that they're running. Clean breaks is 9 to 1. Defenders beaten was like 25 missed tackles from Northampton, and they only made 102, whereas Racing made 170, only missed 16. So just a lot more defensively sound and with ball in hand, just looking more dangerous. Kurtley Beale, 68 run meters. Gogashvili, the prop, 12 from 12 tackles, I think it was it 12 from 13. Augustus made 9 from 10, but yeah, too many guys, like 3 missed tackles here, 2 missed tackles there. That kind of stuff just really adds up. So yeah, not the start Northampton would have wanted, but Racing very, very, very sharp. So we'll see if this kind of helps turn around their form for this season, because as I said, in the top 14 anyway, they've not been doing that well. Northampton, on the other hand, have been looking good, but will need a rocket from Chris Boyd after this one because that was a wee bit poor. But anyway, as I said, it's a pretty world-class backline that Racing have got, so no real shame in it, but you would like it to be a bit better. Anyway, you guys let me know your thoughts. What do you think of the game? And yeah, I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.